County, 2 candidates are currently admitted at Nyahururu Referral Hospital after giving birth, one last Friday and the other one on Tuesday. Mary, who gave birth last Friday, is staying at the hospital due to complication with her baby, who is being treated in the neonatal unit. As a result, she is taking her exam in the maternity ward. Josephine's situation is different. She is forced to travel 20 kilometers to Muthegera High School to sit for her KCSE exams, returning to the hospital afterwards, as her infant remains under medical supervision.
Hadi uko shule napitia challenges nyingi kama kukalia form na nimeshonwa. Ningependa nileteo mtihani hapa hospitali ndo niweze kufanya vizuri bila mashida mingi na niweze kupea mtoto maziwa. Siwezi endelea na mtihani kama nitakuwa nikienda hiyo distance yote na ni matatizo mingi.
Wakati anaenda huko kwa shule ako na watoto wengine wenye walikuwa nasoma na yeye, na hawa watoto wanamsumbua sana kumuuliza mtoto ako wapi, kwani hujapata mtoto sababu tumbo yake bado haijarudi, na watoto wanamuuliza kwani mtoto ako nyumbani ako wapi.
Meanwhile, a multi-agency team has reported the arrest of 4 students attempting to smuggle mobile phones into examination centers, 2 at Memley High School in Ruiru and 2 in Lamu County.
Going forward, we are going to have engagement with the judiciary so that we can have special courts which deal with these things in a very expeditious way. Because the more when we delay them, we make these people emboldened because they think nothing will happen to them.
One incident ambayo imepatikana uko Memble High School. Kuna wanafunzi wawili wamepatikana na simu.
They will continue the exam as the regulation starts, but those the investigation will continue, and of course National Examination Council have the right, they will take action also.
Additionally, 2 individuals were arrested for impersonating candidates at a private examination centers. Boniface Msangi, K24, Mombasa.
Staying on matters education is that the Teachers Service Commission CEO, Nancy Macharia, has announced that over 70,000 teachers from both public and private schools will undergo a retraining exercise in January 2025. This initiative aims at ensuring teachers are adequately prepared to implement the competency-based curriculum. The government has allocated 1 billion shillings for the retraining program, following the successful retooling of over 60,000 grade 7 and grade 8 teachers earlier this year.
Of teachers, we have gotten 1 billion from Parliament to retool 70,000 teachers from both public and private schools, including SNE institutions, before schools open in January. Details of the retooling exercise have been released, and the multi-agency training officers will kick off. The multi-agency training will kick off immediately after the end of the ongoing KCSE. Already, the Commission has retooled 60,642 grade 7 and grade 8 teachers in 2023 early this year.
Apologies for that. Drama unfolded today in Bahati constituency. Nakuru County, as frustrated residents took matters into their own hands to address rising insecurity, including attacks on school-going children. The community has pointed fingers at a local tycoon, accusing him of blocking efforts to install streetlights and clear a road, which they say would improve the safety. Mombi Wambugu reports on that, on the events that transpired.
Rage and courage at Bahati, where residents converged to show solidarity with the victims of insecurity in the region. Armed with power saws and other gadgets, they cut down these gigantic trees that they have claimed are hindering urban development and construction of roads. Women from the community voiced concerns about the rising cases of sexual assault and attacks on children, saying the blocked roads are enabling these heinous acts.
Kumekuwa na cases kama za rape case, kuna waredi ambayo iko hapa pia ni secondary, hii ambayo imetangulia ni primary, ile secondary ambayo wanaenda mapema, wasichana wanakimbizwa early in the morning, wasichana wanatokea jioni, hakuna security yao.
Na sisi kama wamama tumechoka na hii miti. Ni kwa sababu inabidi tupeleke watoto wetu shule. Asubuhi unaamka ni kama mimi ninasoma.
The residents have also cited the negative impact on their economic activities, stating that the area has become too dangerous even during working hours, severely affecting their livelihoods.
Mimi ni mwanabiashara, huwa napita hapa sana. Napita hapa usiku masaa 12 hivi, na ni mbaya hii barabara.
So tunaomba tu kama hii project itaendelea, itakuwa safe kwa watoto wetu na pia kwa wamama ambao wanaenda soko asubuhi na mapema na wanatoka kama wamechelewa.
Blame was also directed at the area MP, Irene Njoki, whom they accuse of failing to take decisive action against the alleged tycoon obstructing road and lightning developments.
Mheshimiwa wetu sijui anafanya kazi gani, kwa sababu yeye ndio anafaa kutushughulikia na tulimchagua ili aweze kutupigania wakati tuko kwa shida.
Mombi Wambogo, K24 TV, Nakuru County.
Let's talk matters business now. And over 453 bags of rice allegedly unfit for human consumption were seized in a godown located along Mombasa Road in Nairobi. Officers from the Kenya Bureau of Standards who raided the godown acknowledged the dire state of the rice but promised to further investigate the case for analysis. However, Anytime Limited CEO Ashok Madala, owner of the rice consignment, faulted the KEBS officials for declaring his rice unfit for consumption without conducting any tests on the grains.
These bundles of unga, beyond the reach of our eyes, are hundreds of bags of rice that are believed to be unfit for human consumption. Officials from the Kenya Bureau of Standards conducted a raid following a call from the counterfeit and quality control officers here at the capital. Following this turn of events, Anytime Limited CEO and founder Ashok Madala quickly defended his business, calling out the KEBS officials for declaring his rice unfit for usage without conducting any proper tests that would warrant the rice unfit for consumption. Madala noted he had purchased thousands of bags of rice, but only a few bags had turned out different. The CEO acknowledged receiving complaints from the public following the sale of the unfit rice, a move that forced them to shelf the rice.
You see, when you receive rice, we think that his rice is good. When we start receiving complaints, when we see that rice, that is when we say that it is bad. But we sold partly because the whole consignment can't be bad, maybe partly. But we communicated saying that we received so much, it's not looking rice. KEBS has just confirmed that the rice what I'm in possession with is not expired. Nobody, not a health or not KEBS guys, have confirmed that this is not fit for human consumption. We purchased legally, we paid for it, and then we are sitting on it. We found it, the rice looks bad. We asked them to collect it back and then replace with a good rice.
However, Anytime Limited, through their advocate, E. Kinyanjui and Company, had demanded over 2.5 million Kenya shillings from Gamma Food traders for allegedly selling them unfit goods. When confronted on why they had to hide their rice behind the bundles of unga, the warehouse manager refuted the claims, stating that was their nature of doing things.
In warehouse, there is what we call space utilization. Because the rice was not being sold, we cannot put it on the front dispatch area, so we need to put it on the behind other goods.
Anthony Kwemoi, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Now, the East African Tea Trade Association has urged the government to intervene in the disruptions to tea export shipments at the Mombasa port following a breakdown of the Kenya Revenue Authority's systems. The association's CEO and other stakeholders in the sector have expressed concern that the breakdown has led to a 5-day standstill in tea exports, resulting in significant losses for traders. Numerous ships have been forced to leave the port without loading tea due to the KRA system's failure. Stakeholders warn that if the issues are not resolved promptly, the nation could face a severe economic crisis.
At the moment, Mombasa, we ship approximately 150 containers a day, Monday to Saturday. So we have not been able to ship from last week on Thursday. So, but that's the key concern is some of those containers were allocated to ships that have already left. So those containers will not be shipped. But we can also be blacklisted as an unreliable supplier.
The second one, if the situation continues, we'll have no option but to suspend the auction. If we suspend the auction, the Mombasa auction, which auctions the tea is coming from 10 countries in the region, the losses will be enormous. The country will lose close to 25 million USD in a week.
KRA payment system has been down. That means that no tea can be exported out of this country, and therefore it means all the teas that have been bought last week could not be exported out, and this will have serious negative impacts on the auction prices. Buyers buy tea to export them out of the country, and if they buy and do not export, it means the ripple effect that will be felt in this auction will be very adverse.
Well, Africa Venture Philanthropic Alliance as a network of social investors collaborating to mobilize and deploy capital for impact across Africa and drive sustainable growth, has today formally announced a premier convening for leading social investors and impact players. The 2024 conference will spotlight the continent's potential and provide a transformative platform for social investors, impact entrepreneurs, policymakers, and other key impact players to explore the use of catalytic capital to drive sustainable growth across Africa.
Make sure that we're improving the standards of living of Kenyans and Africans at large. And the governments have a very critical role to play in this. You know, governments ultimately provide the enabling environment that enables whether it's SMEs to thrive so they can create more jobs through taxation-friendly policies, through other types of policies that enable, let's say, investors to invest in the country. The ease of doing business, for example, is a very important thing that many investors are looking for. So there's multiple touch points that governments can do to improve the enabling space so that we can ensure that the money that comes into the continent is not only giving investors financial returns, but is leaving impact and social advancements for Africans as well.
Now, that is all that we had for you in the world of business. We'll be taking a brief breath and then we'll be back with what is happening in the world of sports.
People Daily, we believe small actions lead to monumental changes. As we commit to a greener future, embrace simple steps, reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's time to go green.